Hello everyone, welcome to the channel and part 7 of New Zealand study visa. We have Ms. Parvinder with us. She is an LIE agent and expert visa counselor. In our last 6 videos, we discussed the steps involved in New Zealand study visa. From first step of choosing a course to the last step of getting your visa. We also discussed total cost involved in the process and also New Zealand study visa dependents option. The video's link is on the top. We have been receiving many queries from parents and students, so we will be answering that in today's video along with some frequently asked questions. So the first query is, ma'am, can you suggest some good institutes or colleges in New Zealand for business programs?
Well, in New Zealand there are basically 3 types of education providers which the students may opt for. Now, it totally depends on the choice of the student where he wants to study as well as the availability of the course. The first option is of studying in a university. Now all of the New Zealand universities are in the top 3% according to World QS ranking. So universities, all the universities are good, whether it be University of Auckland, Auckland University of Technology, Lincoln University. So there are a total of 8 universities in New Zealand, and these universities are good and the students can choose to study in any of them depending on the course they wish to study. The second option is the students can study in colleges, government owned colleges, T. Pukenga, New Zealand Institute of Skills and Technology. Now these are government owned institutes of skills and technology, and they have got excellent facilities. The students can choose to study in these colleges also. Some of the colleges are like Unitec, Otago, Manuka Institute of Technology, and MIT. So there are many, it depends like which area you would like to study and the availability of the course. So these are government colleges and are good quality institutions. The third type of education provider is private training establishments, that is private colleges. The students may also choose to study in these colleges. It depends whether the course is available there or not. Now the quality of these private colleges is measured by New Zealand Qualification Framework Authority. Now they are given status in terms of category like category 1, category 2, category 3. So category 1 colleges, category 1 private colleges are good and the students may choose to study in these colleges also. So this was about the types of education providers and the students may choose to study in any of these.
Okay. So the next question is, ma'am, what is the visa success rate in early childhood education?
See, visa success rate does not only depend on the course. So specifically answering this question, what's the visa success rate in early childhood education is good or not, would not be correct. There are many factors based on which the case officer decides your application. The first one is whether the course you have chosen to do is relevant to your past academic or any work experience history you may have, your English language ability, your funds, is there any gap, you have justifiable reason for any gap you may have. So these are the factors based on which the visa success rate depends. So the visa success rate for early childhood education is good or not good. So there is no yes or no answer for this.
Okay. A student has asked, what is the current processing time for New Zealand study visa?
The current processing time is 8 to 10 weeks. So if you're planning to study in New Zealand, make sure that you apply well in advance, that is at least 8 to 10 weeks before your class start date.
If a student wishes to pursue PhD in New Zealand, what will be the cost of living, tuition fee and eligibility for the program?
So you're talking about the cost of living. If you wish to study in New Zealand for any course you are studying, the duration of which is more than 12 months, students need to have access to New Zealand dollars 20,000 per year. So if you are a PhD student, you need to have this money, that is New Zealand dollars 20,000 at cost of living. So talking about the tuition fee, a PhD in New Zealand has got many attractions. The students need not pay international fee. So if you are required to pay a fee, you just need to pay from 9,000 to 12,000 New Zealand dollars per year. So this is very less. Additionally, the students may also get scholarships. So the students may get scholarship for the whole tuition fee. The students may get scholarship for the whole cost of living. The students may also get scholarship for the whole tuition fee as well as cost of living. So it totally depends about the availability of the scholarship as well as the eligibility, whether you complete that or not.
Okay. So, is the study gap accepted in New Zealand?
First and foremost, here we must understand what the word gap exactly means. Gap means you have not been doing anything. You were not studying, you were not doing any work, you were not engaged in any fruitful activity. If this is the case, then yes, gap would be a problem with your application. But even if you have reasons, justifiable reasons for your gap, then these may be acceptable as a part of the visa application process. Like let's say that you're a student who has done his 10 plus 2 and after that you have a gap of 1 year, and that gap was due to the reason that you applied for study visa to another country and got refused. Let's say that you applied for Canada, you got refused 2 times. So that is the reason for the gap. Then yes, this is justifiable and could be acceptable by Immigration New Zealand.
Okay. Ma'am, does everyone need to transfer the cost of living to the FTS?
Well, it depends on the conditions which are mentioned in your AIP letter, that is approval in principle letter. If the case officer has asked you to transfer the cost of living, then you need to transfer. If it's not mentioned in the AIP letter, then you need not transfer. The compulsory payment which must be transferred to New Zealand is your tuition fee, so that each and every student have to transfer. The cost of living, that is the FTS scheme, that depends whether that condition is mentioned in your AIP letter, and not all students get this condition.
Okay. So how much living expense do students need to show for 1.5-year course?
For living expenses, for 1.5-year course would be for this duration only, that is 1 year and 6 months. For the first year of the course, the funds must be readily available. That is, you need to have New Zealand dollars 20,000 which are available for you. For the next 6 months, you may have the funds in form of money in your saving account, or the students may also opt for a payment plan. Payment plan means they can attach the income proofs of their family which shows that they have this income, and they would be funding their cost of living for the further 6 months from these sources. So these are the 2 options the students have.
Okay. How much time does it take to get the visa after receiving AIP and submitting fee?
After receiving the AIP, it may take somewhere between 10 to 15 days. Now, the students must note that there is a deadline mentioned on the AIP letter. The students may get time of 10 days, the students may get time of 2 weeks. So once they have completed all the AIP requirements, they should get their e-visa within 1 week. So it shouldn't take more than that.
A student has a gap after 12th, but he prepared and took some government exam during that time. Can he apply for New Zealand study visa?
Yes, of course, he may apply as the student. He was engaged in some activity, as we previously discussed the question regarding the gap. I said that if the student was involved in some activity which would be progressive in his career, like in this particular case, the student has been preparing for the government exam. So if he had got all the proofs and he can justify with the evidence, then the student may apply for New Zealand study visa.
Is an education loan on FD acceptable to New Zealand immigration?
There are many things which the students need to take care of. Like if the education loan is against FD, then we need to see that whether the FD is new or old. I mean, if the students they have got FD, then there is no need of education loan. So it would be just an extra step, because FD is acceptable as a part of funds for New Zealand visa application. But specifically answering this question, if you are having your education loan on FD and if the FD is new, then this may cause problem with the visa application.
Is the ITR of 9 lakh of parents enough for New Zealand study visa for masters?
Again, it would depend on the amount of funds you have shown. If you have shown all the funds in form of liquid, that you have savings or education loan or a FD for the whole duration of the course, that is for 1 year or for 18 months, then yes, this may be acceptable. But if you are showing ITRs as a proof of the payment plan, as one of the evidence of the payment plan, then the students need to see that what is the amount required for that payment plan and whether those ITRs are in ratio with that. Like if the student is opting for a payment plan and for the next 6 months he needs to have funds of about 13 to 14 lakh, then 9 lakh ITR may not be enough. But if the student has shown the funds for complete duration of the program, that is for 18 months, then yes, these ITRs would be sufficient. So it depends on the situation.
Is it possible to get 3 years post-study work visa after completing 1 year of masters in New Zealand?
Yes, of course. As per the policy, if the student has completed a qualification which is at level 9 or above that, the student may qualify for a 3 years of post-study work visa and master's degree, whether it's master's by coursework or master's by research. Both these degrees are at level 9, and after the completion of this 1 year program, the students would qualify for a 3 years of post-study work visa.
Do students need to pay tuition fee in bachelor program for 1 year, or he can pay for 6 months also?
As per the policy of Immigration New Zealand, the students need to transfer the tuition fee for complete 1 year of the course. Whether the course is for 3 years, you need to transfer 1 year of tuition fee. So there is no option of transferring 6 months of fee if you are applying for a course that the duration of which is of more than 1 year. So the students need to pay 1 year tuition fee if they are applying for a bachelor's degree of 3 years.
A student got a refusal from Australia for master's course in teaching early childhood education. Can she apply for New Zealand study visa for a graduate diploma in early childhood education?
Yes, of course, you may apply. While applying for New Zealand study visa, if you have got refusal from other countries, one of the important points to take care is that the students must choose a similar course. Now, there also the course was relating to teaching early childhood education, and here also the course is of early childhood education teaching. So yes, the student may go ahead with this course if they would like to apply for New Zealand study visa after refusal from Australia from masters in early childhood education.
Okay. Next is similar question. A student was refused for Australia study visa and is now applying for New Zealand study visa. His query is if he should show Australia visa refusal in his file or the New Zealand study visa.
Yes, of course. Students must take care that they declare all their refusal in their visa application to New Zealand. Now, refusals are not a problem. Like you may have applied for a study visa to Australia, but the Australian embassy didn't give you the visa because you didn't fulfill that policy. That doesn't mean that New Zealand is going to refuse your application. New Zealand has got its own student visa policy, but if you don't declare the information, that could cause problems with your application. So I encourage the students to declare all their immigration history with your visa applications.
What are the fund requirements for level 9 programs in New Zealand?
Level 9 programs, like what I understand is you mean masters. Okay, masters, it could be coursework or masters by research. Again, it would depend on the duration of the course. If you are choosing to do a 1 year of course, then you need to have funds for 1 year of tuition fee plus 1 year of cost of living, that is 20,000 New Zealand dollars, and travel expense of New Zealand dollars 1,500. But if the program is for 18 months, then you need to have funds for 18 months of program. First year can be in the form of liquid, and for further 6 months you can show a payment plan.
How many hours can a dependent spouse work on a work visa if a student is doing level 9 program?
If a student is doing a level 9 program, then as per the policy, the spouse may apply for a work visa. It's an open work visa, and if you get that open work visa, so there is no limit on the number of working hours, so you can work full time.
Okay. If a student has applied for graduate diploma in highway engineering, what visa would the spouse be eligible for?
Graduate Diploma in Highway Engineering is a course which features in the green list of New Zealand. As per the policy, the courses which feature in the green list of New Zealand, the spouses of those students would be eligible to apply for work visa. So if the student is applying to study a graduate diploma in highway engineering, the dependent spouse may be eligible for a work visa. Of course, there are other conditions which the applicants need to meet.
Can a master's student cover the cost of living in an education loan?
Yeah, of course they can cover if the bank has given you education loan and if it is mentioned there that the student has been sanctioned a loan of this much amount. So like let's say that you are planning to study a master's degree, the duration of which is 1 year. The total funds you require are 35 lakh and you have got education loan sanction letter of 35 lakh, then yes, of course that would work.
If the funds of students are new, then what are the options?
Well, the policy is that the funds must be held for a sufficient period of time. If the funds are new, then the students need to show the source from where those funds have come from. Now, there may be applicants who have got regular deposits in their bank accounts, in their parents' bank accounts. If you feel that you have the source which could justify that, and your education agent would be in a better position to help you understand that. So if you have a verifiable source which is acceptable by Immigration New Zealand, then of course those new funds would work. If that source is not acceptable, you do not have any explanation, then the students may go for education loan.
Okay. After completing the masters, what are the chances of getting PR in New Zealand?
Well, it depends on the policy. Yes, there is a policy in place, and from 9th of October 2023, there is a new point system which has come into effect. So if you have got master's degree which you have completed in New Zealand, then you get certain points for that. So I highly encourage students to look into the policy if they are looking for pathways to settlement in New Zealand, whether after completing that course you would be getting those 5 points, and after completing your course, when you get your post-study work visa, you are also having a post-study work visa of 3 years, and you would get points for work experience in that period. So this is the thing which the students must take care if they are looking forward for settlement.
These were the major queries we received from the students. If your query was not answered in this video or you want to know more, you can always contact West Highlander. We will be pleased to help you. And this was the last part of New Zealand Study Visa series. Thank you for watching the video.
Thank you.